said it couldn't be done. But behold!
Who said it couldn't be done?
They.
Who's they?
It's just an expression. Don't bust me on a technicality.
So, I saw Wonder Park, the latest movie from Nickelodeon. It was decent. Nickelodeon's third animated movie to series idea after Jimmy Neutron and Barnyard, Wonder Park hit the theaters March 15th, 2019, and told a story about a young girl, June, creating an imaginated land alongside her mother that she gave up when they split. So, let's get into the...
Welcome to the park. Have a nice day.
The movie has a lot of great things going for it. Of the 5 movies I saw recently, including Incredibles 2, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Verse, this movie had some of my favorite visuals and camera work. There were times where the character caused mayhem in a really big spot, and the people who worked on the movie did not hesitate to push the camera out wide or follow it in an unconventional direction that led to the movie visually to be more dynamic.
I'm in Wonder Park.
A big worry for me going in was that the comedy within the movie would be extremely lame and full of toilet humor, but there actually isn't a single toilet humor joke, I think. And yes, this is from Nickelodeon. In fact, the movie doesn't lean too much on comedy at all, with some of its more lukewarm running jokes just being okay. There was probably a moment or two where the audience alongside me chuckled or laughed out loud, rather than mentally, but for me, I really enjoyed June and her mother as characters. They seemed to be the standout characters within the movie. Throughout the movie, a small part of my brain was fascinated with how different writers write child or young characters, whether it was Vanellope, Miles, the Titans, or Dash and Violet. They all waver between things that make their portrayal believable, and I think while not perfect, this was a solid shot at making a very ambitious, emotionally driven, but persistent character.
Good morning, June Bailey. Operation Wonder Park is a go!
Unfortunately, if we're talking about spoiler-free, that's where my positive things end. So let's talk about Barnyard and Jimmy Neutron. I would make the argument that Jimmy Neutron had a wonderful grasp on writing child characters because while young, starry-eyed, and naive, they were also annoying at times, but in a good way. In fact, they bicker and argue and sometimes are driven by selfish needs, as a child would be. In Wonder Park, the kids are too perfect, and this movie is a great example of perfectionism in and of itself being a flaw. There wasn't a single time any of the kids felt like anything other than model kids, which seems very off. Even in Barnyard, Otis is a big goofy kid at heart, and it was easier to connect with him because of the contrast with him and the other barn animals. When you see this movie, you may see that besides the enticing incident, June doesn't do much, if anything, wrong, ignorant, or uninformed. It was almost as if she's well beyond being mature for her age, and not in the way that Blossom or Lincoln or Steven would be. At least the latter 3 can be annoying. Another big problem was the pacing. I know the movie is called Wonder Park, but I wondered why you parked majority of the movie meandering in this wonderland. The stakes were not high enough to compete with its peers, and even in a vacuum was just generic. It's a shame too, because something big does happen within the movie that could have been targeted a lot more. But I suppose maybe it would have struck a nerve? The scope of the story was set too low, and when I think about other movies like Incredibles 2 or even Spider-Verse, you can make the argument that the non-major characters are ultimately forgettable. Unless you can name all the side heroes in Incredibles 2 and tell me what Spider-Noir, Ham, and Penny did that wasn't in a fight scene. Even if you could, you'd be in the minority. The side characters in Wonder Park were sparks of ideas rather than executed full concepts, which is why you may not be on the edge of your seat, even during the end. The movie has a large emphasis on what is in your imagination, yet in a meta sense, the movie is underbaked when it comes to imagination. The plots, underbaked. The motivations in the characters, underbaked. The relationships between everyone, underbaked. Heck, even the animal character designs, underbaked. It doesn't appear to have much ambition in it. Overall, see Lego Movie, Spider-Verse, save for Toy Story 4, or give it to me in patreon.com/ALPHAJayShow, whatever makes you the happiest. If you want to see what I thought about Teen Titans Go to the Movies, click here, and if you want to see what I'm talking about with Harvey Beaks, the whole depth aspect, click here, and until next time guys, take care. Alpha out.